His way up the local comedy scene in Springfield. Give it up, you guys, for Mr. Eric McElroy.
Yeah! How you guys doing? Oh, that's the first time I did that. No, my name's Eric McElroy, and I'm doing fine, in case you're wondering. But I was watching a cooking show, because I have that kind of time. And they said, they're making something, and they said, we're going to put some orange zest in here. You know what that is? It's orange peel. I've never knowingly ate orange peel before and went, oh, that's zesty. Never did that. Anyway, so I watched a cooking show, and I was like, I'm going to be creative and inventive. As it turns out, there's no such thing as banana zest. Nobody ate that. Well, they ate one bite and then that was it. So, but speaking of Jesus, I always thought that Jesus was Irish, but some people think he was French, which doesn't make sense to me because I know the whole water into wine thing, and you think, yeah, French maybe, but the accent just doesn't lend to a Messiah, because he'll sound something like this, and be like, "They do not drink water." That doesn't sound like somebody that's really, that don't sound like a savior. And you know he wasn't Scottish, because he would have turned water into whiskey. Or Scotch, yeah, either way. And you know he wasn't German, because he would turn water into beer. And then kill the 12 disciples. So, so that doesn't track. But if since he turned water into wine, he drank. So he probably did a little herb. So he probably sounds something like this. He'd be like, "Oh, better get Joseph. That's some good shot. Judas, where down the Holy Land did you get this shit?" That's probably what he would sound like, I think. So I don't know what Bible you read, but I was raised Protestant, and that's what we teach. So. But speaking of rich people, I always thought it would be fun to be rich. Not because, there's obviously some benefits to it, but I always thought it would be neat because you get to say stuff that nobody ever says before. If you're rich, like let's say you were born in a castle, raised in a castle, you probably never heard these words. No, you must jiggle the handle. Up and down, your grace. Up and down. So if you were, you probably never heard that. So if you're rich, you get to say stuff that you normally wouldn't get to say. So you'd be able to go like, Nigel? Oh, Nigel, we're going to have lunch on the veranda today. Yes, again. So I don't know if you can put a veranda on a mobile home. But that's what I'm going to do when I make it big, so I already got my money spent. But speaking of bad neighborhoods, I was in a bad neighborhood, and it was pretty bad because I woke up one morning and all the hubcaps were gone off my house. I got the fuck out of there, hooked up the truck, and was like, adios. Hear that shit. But speaking of sex, I had this one guy, we were just drinking a beer, talking, and for some reason he wanted to tell me he was a pansexual. I was like, okay. He's like, you know what that means, right? I was like, well, just for fun, let's say I don't. So I was like, he's like, well, I'm attracted to somebody's personality, not necessarily gender. I was like, well, I didn't mean to put off a Peter Pan vibe or whatever. So, I like women. I have the restraining orders to prove it. Women are kind of sensitive, Just because you fix some breakfast in the morning, they get all upset. They're like, who are you? How'd you get in my house? No, that's not cool. No, well, I went out of my way to I didn't know where he kept the biz quick. It was kind of rough. But anyway, talking about rich people. You know, there's super rich people out there. There's also only 3 people that are considered super rich. You know, mega rich. You think they know each other? Yeah, they do. I did research, okay? All my jokes are based in fact. So, anyway, a phone call would probably sound something like this. It'd be like, Reginald? Yes, we're in the Caribbean. No, we're gonna buy Costa Rica. I haven't seen Kathleen. Oh, I don't think Canada's for sale. I see. Are you slumming it in the Hamptons again? Well, cheerio then. Okay. That actually was better than that, though.
Yeah!
But speaking of time, I think that's it for me, so thank you very much.
Yeah!